to my channel. And today it's just gonna be my normal day, nothing really special, not so formal. I'm just being who I am in just a shirt and then spandex and tennis shoes. This is actually my favorite clothes that I wear all the time when I go in a grocery store and going to a friend, wherever. So right now my schedule is just too hectic that I work 5 days a week and I only have 2 days off in a week, and my other day off I use it for filming my video. So that's why I tell everybody in my life, in 1 day of my day off I cannot be disturbed because I'm gonna be making video. And my other day off is that I just use it for personal, like paying bills, cleaning the house, errands, or whatever. So it's almost like I don't really have a day off. It sounds like that. So today I'm just going to be sharing you a little bit of insight and awareness, and these are questions that really I get most often. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because, like I've always said over and over in this channel, that in this channel I'm going to be sharing my personal experience to spread awareness among people, because I've noticed that a lot of people don't really know this, and they keep asking me this question, and they do this to the next person, to the next person, and they don't really know how these questions affects to other people when they ask these questions. But these questions are actually disrespectful, and if you don't know why, you would never relate to this until experience how it feels like to be in that person's shoes. So these are the questions that I often get, and this is just not my personal experience but also to other people. So I feel like I'm almost talking in behalf of others. But anyway, this is not just for my this is not just my personal opinion, but this is for everybody's opinion who has similar situation. So things that you should never ask or say to people. So one is, do not ask how much is your salary or how much is someone's salary. So the reason why I'm saying this, that you should never ask someone's how much is their salary, or maybe what's their position, because it's too personal. And when you ask this question, and there's a tendency that people would think like, okay, you're asking how much I make, so that means, that is your determinant factor on how much respect you can give me based on how much I make, or based on what is my economic status. And some people, they try to sugarcoat it in a professional way, but still it almost has the same meaning, like what do you do for a living? So people will have this notion thinking that how much I make is equal to my self-worth. So for example, if I make $1 million, that's my self-worth. And if I make $500 a month, that's my self-worth. So that's how people would perceive, and that's why this kind of question is very offensive when you ask people. So I have learned this back early in my college life. When I first graduated in college, I didn't really make a whole lot of money. So people, when I started dating, the men that I've dated, the very first question they asked me is, did you go to college? Have you finished your degree? So I felt like it's offensive, because instead of asking who I am, asking my observing my personality as a person, they just jump right in without asking my personality, but my economic status, if what do I do for a living, what if I finish a bachelor's degree. So in that time, so when people ask you smart questions, you just give them a smart answers. It's like, yeah, I'm actually a nanny. So when you give them the worst part of yourself, then you will determine if they're real or not, because they're just gonna walk away and ignore you and not come back. But people who are genuine, no matter who you are, they will stay with you regardless of your economic status, and they don't base their respect to you whether you make a lot of money or not. So this is the reason why you don't really ask people how much money they make, because I mean it's really an offensive question. People have the tendency to give more respect on people who makes a lot of money, and those people who make less money, they kind of give less respect. So that's why it's really inappropriate to be asking people how much money they have, how much they make. So number 2, the next one is you should never ask people, when are you gonna have a baby? Why you don't have a baby? When are you getting married? Why you're not married? I mean, a lot of people don't know what's the psychological effect with these questions, and the reason why you don't ask this question is because you don't know what other people are going through. Maybe this person can't afford financially. I mean, they're struggling financially. Maybe this person don't have a baby because of miscarriage. Maybe this person is not married because of bad experience or a trauma. Or maybe this person don't have a baby is because of health issues. Maybe this couple don't have a baby is because they enjoy charitable works, that they would, I mean, their passion is helping other people, so they just dedicate their time helping other people and don't have time for their own family. So you just never know, and that's the reason why you should never ask these questions, but instead observe, study people before you jump your questions and opinion. Okay, the third one is avoid having a comment or opinion about other people's appearance. And a lot of people don't really know about this, but it almost turns out like a bully. When I went on vacation in Philippines, a lot of people noticed about me changing weight. So the very first thing how a lot of people welcome me is that it's like, oh, you're getting fat, and even I post pictures in my social media, oh, you're getting fat, and something like that, and I think that's, you know, disrespectful. So do you know what's the psychological effect when you start, I mean, when people commenting about something like this? It has a psychological effect when people stop posting pictures about themselves because they start to feel insecure. I mean, I went through the kind of insecurity where, I mean, I just stopped posting pictures about myself in social media because, I mean, I felt, you know, I mean, it started feeding my insecurities or something like that. So it took me time to rebuild my confidence about myself. So I actually went through weight loss challenge, and I've lost like 15 pounds in 3 months, and that's not because to ask validation from people that, hey, I'm here, I'm losing weight, I'm better now. So that's not the reason why I tried to lose weight. That's because I've also realized it's for health reason, and the older I get, I become more health conscious. So that was the reason why I took an effort to lose weight, but it's not for asking validation to other people. Okay, number 4 is avoid asking personal questions, and this is similar to the first one I've mentioned, but this a little bit more general of someone's identity. Like, you should never ask personal questions about people, like, where do you live? Who's your friends? Where do you work? What do you do your personal time? What's your address? What's your phone number? Or whatever. These are personal questions that you should never ask to someone because it's disrespectful. And if you don't work for FBI, then don't bother asking these questions, because people will start thinking, it's like, oh my gosh, I mean, is he investigating me and knowing where I live? And people will have that notion and will start to get anxious because you're trying to get information. And if you don't really work for FBI, don't ask these questions, because if people are comfortable of sharing their personal information to you, they will tell you without asking those kind of questions to them. So you should never ask those questions, and especially in the United States, your information must be private and secret, because if you just give your personal information there, like your birthday, where you live, your phone number, your real name, and you can be a potential victim for identity theft. So people should know that. So avoid asking personal questions, and you should never ask this if people are not comfortable sharing voluntarily. Don't. There are questions that you should leave hanging in your head without answers and just let your head wander. Sometimes that's what I do when I'm curious about things. I just let my head wander and have no answers with my questions and let it be. Alright, number 5 is being anxious or too worried about someone's health issues or someone's health problems. And I think we should be careful who we are sharing our personal problems, and especially when it comes to health, because if you share with the wrong person, you just don't know how that person would react to you. For example, if you're depressed and or you found out that you have a cancer and you just you're overwhelmed with the situation, and if you happen to share that with someone who also don't have life skills to react on how to comfort you, then things can get worse, because you share it to someone else like, oh my gosh, I found out today that I have this and the doctor told me, and oh, I have this and I don't know what to do. And then you happen to share that with someone, and then someone don't know what to say, and someone would say, oh my gosh, that might be a tumor or a cancer, oh my gosh, I hope it's not worse. If you don't know how to react on someone's health issue, if you don't know how to console someone, instead of consoling and encouraging that person in a positive note, then you're just adding to someone's problem. Instead of that person is looking for an encouragement or hope, then you're just adding someone's problem because it's not something positive. Maybe the best thing you could do is, if you have similar experience, you can say, oh, I have experienced that kind of issue before, and I actually overcome it, and here is what I did. So maybe if you could say something like that, that would give hope and encouragement and light to the person, like, oh, she went through the same thing and she overcome it, and so I shouldn't have to worry about this because she went through the same thing, so probably it'll be the same thing for me. When you don't know how to comfort others, or if you don't really have a good life coping mechanism towards your problems, so that's what most likely will happen. Number 6 is saying how are you to random people. It's not really a big deal, but for someone like me, I'm highly introspective type of person. So I often get this from random people. I think this is just a way of people being polite for random people they see, that you just don't pass there. You have to make sure that you recognize them, and you're just trying to be polite and nice to people. So I often get this like, hi, how are you doing? How are you? And then to me, when this is just my personal opinion, but people have different way of thinking about it. So for me, when you say how are you, these have two different answers. It's either the person's going to be sharing what's exciting in her life, or her life is not well right now. So if you're asking someone how are you, and then the person who received the question will say, oh, my life is so miserable right now, I just had my divorce, I lost my house, I don't have money, I'm broke. Or someone could say, if you asked how are you, I was like, hey, we went on vacation, we just had our honeymoon and it was so great and fantastic. And this is my personal learning experience, that people are not interested to listen to your story. And when you ask how are you, this question is actually a rhetorical question, and people are not really willing to listen to your story. They just happen to pass by and say how are you, but they're not interested to listen how are you actually doing right now. So if you don't really have time to listen to people's story, and as you ask this kind of question, maybe you can just say, hey, how are you? I'm just passing through. You just want to make the people aware that you are not interested to listen to their story, but because you just recognize their presence, if you don't want to be rude. But I stop asking this question to people. I don't say how are you to people anymore after I have this kind of realization, because I feel like it's not genuine to ask. But I actually ask this question to some people when I feel like I have time to listen. When I feel like I have time to sit down and listen to their story, if it's whether it's exciting or problematic, it don't really matter. I just have to have time to listen to this person. So when I happen to see people in random places, even friends or families, if I genuinely don't really have time to listen, I just say, hey, good morning. I mean, those are just my gestures, because to let them know that I recognize their presence, that I do not ignore them. So that's the reason why I stopped saying how are you to people. But if you happen to arrange a meeting or to a family member or a friend that you have not met for such a long period of time, and you go out on a date, like eating in a restaurant, this is the perfect place to say, hey, how are you, how's your kids, I mean, you still live in the same place? Those are the perfect moment that you can elaborate what's going on in your life. But in general, if you're just passing through with random people and asking you, how are you? No, this is not a genuine questions, because when you start asking, how are you? And you say, oh, my day is bad, I mean, I don't have money, I'm broke, I'm homeless. If you want to say that because that's actually what you're going through right now with the person who asked you this question, that person is not really interested. And if someone asks you, hey, how are you? Oh, what they really want to hear, I mean, what they want to hear is like, oh, I'm good. Sometimes I haven't experienced that kind of scenario wherein I try to live on someone's standard when they ask me, hey, how are you doing? I mean, although I was kind of feel down, I don't really feel well, I'm stressed, I can't say, I'm so really stressed out right now, but I can't say those things because that's not what they want to hear from me. So sometimes I wind up faking myself and say, I'm good, although deep inside I'm not good. So I reflect this to myself with this kind of questions, and I started realizing it's like, okay, I'm not gonna ask this question again. So if I have to ask this question, it's something intentional that you are ready to sit down and listen to someone's story, whether it's happy or sad, regardless. So I stopped saying the question, how are you? Because it's something rhetorical question. Alright guys, I just got home from groceries and I'm really proud about myself because it's been 3 weeks in a row where I only spent less than $70. 2 weeks in a row, last week and before that I spent like less than $40, and today I spent like $60. So I feel like something is wrong with me because most of the time when I go in groceries, I usually spend somewhere around $100 a week. But I've been noticing about myself lately for 3 weeks in a row now that I don't feel like buying, a lot of food or whatever in stores. So this is kind of shocking for me because I usually spend $100. So I'm gonna continue tracking the changes in myself because I don't know. So these are all the groceries I have, so I'm very proud about myself for spending all this. Alright, I'm getting ready for my no-bake cheesecake strawberry, guys. So these are the ingredients that I need for this dessert. So I have my pan ready here, round pan, and I already chopped all my strawberries. I have some mascarpone cheese, heavy whipping cream, graham crackers, I have my 8-ounce cream cheese, and I have a tablespoon of sugar, but I'm gonna add more later. I also have lemon juice. I have 8 ounces of butter, melted butter, and of course my food processor that I'm gonna use for shredding my graham crackers. So I think that's it for now, and I'm gonna proceed to my next step. So I have my food processor ready. So I'm just gonna add all the crackers in the food processor. Then butter, and I have so there's my crust. I'm gonna put this in the freezer now. Okay, now we're gonna do the cream cheese. So there you go, guys. It's ready to put in the fridge, and I'm gonna put some topping on it later. So I'm gonna be cooking my topping right now, and I'm gonna add 1/3 cup of white sugar, and the strawberry is boiling now, so it's almost done. All right, the cheesecake is done. It's so yummy, pretty.